Hello, everyone, and welcome to our studio. This is the home of Sunday Music Group and Five Stones Productions, and it's also the home of our podcast, Faith to Stand. And Faith to Stand, I'm interviewing. My name is Michael, and this is
Teresa.
And I'm interviewing her today because it was her brainchild, this whole thing. And so I would like you to give us an explanation of the light bulb that went over your head. Yeah.
We started doing a couple years ago a Faith to Stand conference, and it was concerning our story with our daughter that had brain cancer, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a sec. But we were telling our story and doing worship and inviting a couple friends to share their story about how you had faith to stand and still get up and worship and still lead people in worship and still go on and serving God. And so last August was our daughter's 40th birthday. And so under Faith to Stand, we did a Thanksgiving in August concert when we invited more friends to come and share their stories. And it was a great time.
Yeah, it was. And this is also under the umbrella of our nonprofit. So can you tell us a little about that and then Noelle's story briefly?
Well, the nonprofit is called With These Hands. It's WITHTHESE hands.org. And all of that came about because of what we experienced with our daughter's very rare brain cancer that happened exactly 14 years ago, coming up here on March 1st.
Just a few days, yeah.
It'll be 14 years.
Yeah, wow.
And so, long story short, she had her very first brain bleed on March 1st,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. She ended up in the hospital like an hour and a half away on a good day here in Southern California. And she had 4 brain surgeries.
Yeah. Not just 4 brain surgeries, 4 in 9 days. The last one, the doctors told us was a Hail Mary. It was over 6 hours, the surgery. And we'll keep going.
Yeah. And she had 2 strokes during that time, months and months of chemo.
While she was in a coma.
Yeah, she was in a vegetative state,
Yep.
and they sent her home to die. She was on a breathing tube, a feeding tube, a dilaudid pump, and all kinds of stuff that we didn't know how to do whatsoever. But 2 weeks after she came home, right before her 27th birthday, she woke up. And so been working her way back to health ever since then. And Noelle was always my little mini me. She traveled with me. She did worship. She was worship leader in training, being the worship pastor at a church for many, many years, and doing worship other than that before I took the job there and was worship for many, many years. And so the way that I was able to have faith to stand was through our worship. And it's not, I don't think it's the same for everybody, like the way that but that was my gift. So that was the way I knew how to stand. And we would be up all night long waiting for her to have her surgery. And
waiting for the doctor to come into the room and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It was.
And so the next morning, like, we'd freshen up and go to church, and I would lead worship. And thankfully, I had an amazing team that ran practices for me, and they were just so great. Our pastors were so great and so supportive. The whole church was. And so that was the only way that I knew how to fight, because the devil was trying to take me out, and the enemy was trying to take out our daughter and her husband and our family. And it was just like, no, you can't have it. And so all of that was the impetus for With These Hands, the nonprofit, because we would go to the hospital and sit there, and being at the hospital for 6 months, you would see a lot of the same people all the time. And we're thinking, like, we're driving an hour and a half. And thankfully, we had myself and my son-in-law had a great boss, and was letting us be gone and doing things and trying to just keep things going. And so we were just talking about how do people do this? And
Right.
so we're not the first people in history that had to go back and forth to the hospital
we
for
find
months.
out there was a lot more
So
people
many
going through what we went through
people.
that, I mean, you wouldn't even know. And they're like normal. You would not know. They just do it.
So we were thinking, like, how do people buy gas? Like, I'm putting gas on credit card, and gas was really expensive back then too. I mean, it's a little bit less right now,
little bit less,
but
but
it was
yeah, that was
almost
$5-6, yeah.
and driving back and forth and having to eat out all the time and sleeping in a chair by the bed and so we were just thinking, how do people do this? So we wanted to start a nonprofit that would help families, whether it was the patient or the family of the patient with a catastrophic illness or injury. And it's been kind of a snowball ever since then.
And then it kind of morphed into Faith to Stand, the conferences, which people with their stories, who other artists, performing artists, would tell their stories and sing, and it's actually an amazing thing. I have a question for you.
Okay.
At this point in time, shouldn't you be retiring? Why in the world would you want to do this now?
Are you inferring that I'm old?
Oh, well, yeah,
What's
we're
happening
old.
right
We're
now?
old.
You're older than me. You'll
Yeah.
always be older than me.
That's true.
Well, I'm 64. I just turned 64 on New Year's
That
Eve.
means I'm older than 64.
865. Will you still need me? Will you still be me when I'm 64? But you know what? People have been telling me I'm too old to do what I'm doing for many, many years. I remember years ago when our daughter was a teenager, her and I went to this big Christian conference at Estes Park, and we sang there, and we were doing stuff and talking to record people and everything. And the guy's like, "Oh man, you guys sound really good." Like how I was like, it's like I think I was 35 at the time. 30.
Ooh, old. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe 37. And basically, they told me I was too old, and basically, I've been too old to be doing what I'm doing for a really, really long time. So, I mean, that's not going to stop me. But honestly, I don't think I'll ever retire. I mean, if you walk in my closet, you will see my retirement.
She's not kidding. Yeah, there's a separate house just for the clothes,
But honestly, I mean, and that is
Just
true.
kidding.
But I
But you
I
feel
don't
like
believe-
you're coming into you feel like
Yeah.
you're better now than you ever have been, if I hear you correctly.
I mean, honestly, after all the years of doing this, I feel like I'm a better singer, a better musician. I know that everything that we've gone through has made me closer to God, more anointed. I want to share this, and I don't believe that there's any retirement in God's kingdom.
Okay.
So that
So
would be why.
You had something very special happen this morning.
Yes.
Speaking of not too old and never quitting and doing what you do, what give us the story.
Well, our pastors asked me, would I do a gospel choir song for Black History Month? Today's February 22nd. It's the last Sunday in February when we're celebrating Black History Month. And I was very excited. They wanted to do something historical and that we could talk about the history of it and who wrote it. And so I picked The Storm is Passing Over and made a medley out of it, which I won't tell you guys the whole medley.
No,
but
you're going to have to. It's going to be in another podcast. So.
the choir, the band, everything was just so amazing. It was so powerful.
It was
Had
awesome. And I played
so
the
much
bass.
fun.
I was part of the
Yes,
band.
he rocked it on the bass.
My privilege.
We had such a good time. In fact, it was such a good time that we've decided to record it in the studio and release this original medley. So watch out for that.
That's coming very soon. So,
We're looking towards on or before the end of March to release this. So we'll keep you guys posted.
very much so. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming along for the ride. This is kind of our introduction to our podcast. And we just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, because he put up a picture when we were doing like
Yeah,
some
my
test
bad.
some test runs, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're doing a podcast. What's it about?" So this is our intro for those of you that have been asking, "What the heck are you going to be talking
Yeah,
about?" Like
here
we
we
have
are.
a lot of things to share, and we want to have a lot of our friends, a lot of guests. We know there's so many, especially we're going to start with our friends that are worship leaders, because I think that that's like very, very important.
Yes.
How you can, like I said earlier, how you can get up and still lead thousands of people in worship, or 5 people in worship. It doesn't really matter how many, but you're going through a horrible time, but yet you get up. And so we know a lot of our friends, unfortunately, that have gone through different trauma, different things with their children, with different areas of their lives. It could be anything, but we want to tell people stories, and that is for me the main reason that we want to do this podcast, because we want to tell stories. And the Bible says you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony, and you don't love your life unto death. And so we want to be overcomers. We don't want to be survivors. We want to be overcomers. Maybe that should be our theme song for our...
Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah, because she wrote it.
That's right.
There you go. Well, once again, thank you. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Are we the two chipmunks? Thank you. No,
Yes.
thank you. All right, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Bye.